we're going to jump straight into this. Game number 1, Jack versus Daniel. Best of 7. I've got to predict Jack to win this, even though Daniel swept first killer the other day. I still have to go Jack on this, because I know Jack's been active, I know he's been grinding and prep for Gamers 8, so I'm sure he's going to be on form here. And I think the last time that they did play, Jack had Daniel's number. Now, the strategy I'm expecting to see from Jack in game number 1, maybe even game number 2 if it continues to work, is full focus on aggression off the ball. I expect to see a big physical game coming from Jack in this matchup. Jack casted first killer versus Daniel with me, so he got to see that front seat live. Not sure if he went back and watched any of the games again for research purposes, but yeah, he definitely saw and talked about in the cast of Daniel versus first killer the lack of physical play, something that we both talked about to great lengths, because it's been a difference, and it's been a notable difference. It's been something that's talked about in the Rocket League community, the Ones community recently. The fact that in North America the meta is a lot more about clean outplays, and in Europe it's a lot more about just getting the job done. Dirty, clean, doesn't matter, just a goal is a goal. So I think Jack is going to be very physical in this matchup, just to try and shake up Daniel. Interested to see if Daniel will need to make any evasive action, or if his speed will keep him at arm's length and away from danger anyway. Lovely little wall shot there from Daniel. Jack probably knew that he was going to be at a 2-1 deficit. Daniel, known as one of the most consistent shooters from distance. Notice Jack taking away a lot of small pads there, just in case Daniel was thinking about following him closely into the back corner. Daniel now parking up nice and close. I like that from Daniel. That's a very aggressive stance defensively. Look at that shot as well. That is ridiculous from Daniel. Just booms it, and it's in Jack's net. It's like I said, Daniel is known as one of the most consistent shooters. He can really boom the ball whenever he wants. Boomule, I like that. Definitely makes a lot of sense. So both players trying to push the kickoff through their opponent. Daniel's the one with the stronger result. If Jack's noticed that, you might try and hook the ball more back towards the middle next time. But Daniel so far looks just as comfortable as he did against first. He is right back at the top of his game after a brief fall off from form and a lack of confidence against quite a few of the next tier Rocket League players in NA. Slamuel. Wait, Slamuel's really good as well. Hold on a second. We might have to think about this one. Notice the aggressive defense from Daniel, by the way. I think he might be anticipating physical play from Jack here. He doesn't want to just sit on his goal line and make himself a target, so he just lunges in. It might look like a careless challenge. It might look like a bit of a speculative effort, but you've got to remember Jack is really known for his bump plays, and if Daniel just sits on the goal line there, he will be a target for Jack to aim for. So it makes sense that he's trying not to be AFK at net. Yeah, Daniel definitely brought the boomers to this game. Jack's going to steal away all the boost, even the small pad again. He's just making sure that Daniel's not shooting as he steals the corner boost on the other side of the field as well. Daniel making do with the small pads. Jack shoots first time just to keep him back. He's going to try and steal the big one right as it spawns. There it is from Jack. So perfect timing of the attack there. Missed one small pad as he exited the half, but apart from that, he has taken every single pad that he's been anywhere near, and he's got Daniel in a bit of trouble here. Daniel's been boost starved for a long time now. That's not the touch that Jack wanted. Tried to chip the ball a bit higher into Daniel's box. But he's still got Daniel in a rough spot, but that demo's huge from Daniel. And just like that, he is out of trouble. He's giving the ball right back to Jack, though. His boost situation is a lot better than it was moments ago. But you'll want to keep control of the ball if we can. Jack is trying to put him in awkward positions here. He thought about maybe catching Daniel on the landing, plays for the ball instead. Fear Stream and Johnny Stream players play so differently, it's weird. You got any elaboration on that? I've not noticed any particular difference myself. I think the idea that some players play big for money matches and some don't, and some, are more consistent show matches and all that, I don't really subscribe to that too much. I think that, you know, a show match is a show match, and, you know, players are trying to win show matches. It's hard to, I mean, do people really think that players have different modes? As Daniel forces an own goal, well played at the near post. You know, do viewers really think that players have different modes? They think, oh, this show match isn't that important. I'm just going to play my, you know, subpar gameplay today. Or, oh, I'm surprised to see Jack jump for that one. It was clearly over the bar. Maybe wanted to pinch it as it hit the bar. Go for a big clear. Daniel not falling for the fake ceiling challenge. Reverse takeoff for the air dribble into the reset. And the finish is good. Jack compliments him, but realistically, Jack didn't do too much to stop this one. He was just sitting at the near post, waiting for Daniel to come at him. Can I show ping? Well, they're both in the US right now, so they're both normal ping. Daniel is East Coast and Jack is Central, I believe. Oh dear, big miss from Daniel. I regret saying earlier on that he's known as one of the most consistent shooters in ones, because that was not consistent shooting. Jack has lost control of his reset in the counter-attack though. Oh, Daniel's on the post and Jack didn't realize. I think he's still going to score this. No, Daniel's got something to say about it. He will get the goal eventually, but not before goal line heroics from Daniel delay him for another second or two. Initially there, Daniel got stuck on the post and he couldn't get off. It was like that moment, I've fallen and I can't get up, and he just had to watch in horror as Jack dribbled the ball into the middle of his net. Jack probably didn't anticipate Daniel getting stuck like that. So both players made to look a bit silly. No reset for Jack. He loses control once again. That's 2 air dribbles in a row where he's let the ball go a bit too far in front of him. He might try and play more of a grounded-based offense if he can't get the attack to work in the air. Oh, Daniel's stuck in the post again. This time he is able to get back to the ball. And he secures game one with solid defense and solid survival, I would say, for large parts of that. Not so much under pressure with the bumps and the demos as we expected, but he was under pressure from Jack's relentless boost starving for large parts of that game. SP Jazz. I don't know why I always say easy peasy when I read your name. SP Jazz, thanks for the 19-month prime. Also got Sugi Kuni Michi Katsu. Thanks for 100 bits. Hope I said your name right. TR gets girls, thanks for the brand new prime. Congratulations on the girls as well. And Noah Peep, thanks for the brand new prime as well. And well, Daniel just boomed this. He decided not to. It was probably sitting a bit too close to the ceiling for the direct shot. But he doesn't need to shoot from distance. Daniel has got the resets on lock right now. Jack messed up 2 in a row at the end of the last game. Daniel's yet to put any of them in a bad spot. He is on fire right now. Chief Lob, thanks to the 2-month prime as well. You're surprised it popped because you haven't used prime in ages. Streaks actually don't rely on using prime consecutively anymore. You can keep a streak going even if you forget to prime for a while. Really like that change. I can't remember when Twitch made it, but I like that because I've had streaks die on other channels before where I just forget to sub for a bit. Perfect challenge by Daniel. He's actually denied the boost steal. Or I'm not sure if Jack played that correctly. Surely he wanted the boost steal as he was exiting Daniel's back corner. He's trying to trip up Daniel here. No luck. Daniel too quick. And now up by 2. Yeah, Jack definitely misplaying a couple times here. Daniel has yet to make any glaring errors. Can Jack elevate his gameplay? Or will Daniel just run away with this? Jack decides not to play for the back corner boost. Flips a bit too far forward. Can Daniel recover? And get back to the ball one more time. A couple side flips get him into a good position. Power sliding every landing, of course. Jack is just trying to get the ball into a safe location, but that's proven to be quite difficult. And he's run out of all of his boost. Thankfully for him, Daniel left the back corner for him to grab. It is going to be a ground-based setup for Jack, and there's the physical play. I will not be surprised if Jack sticks to ground setups for this entire game, because his aerial control has been a bit off compared to its usual world-class level. And this is something that's kind of an untested territory of Daniel as well. I mean, how good is his air double bump defense so far? Jack's had the better of him in that regard. Jack cringe. Yeah, that's the classic cringe that we all love. Daniel hesitates for a moment. Oh, look at this from Jack. I don't think he meant that. He panicked and somehow recovered the ball brilliantly. Another air dribble bump. This time Daniel will have enough momentum to go right through. And Jack has to immediately go back to his net. He knows that a shot is going to come his way. And a quick one at that. Jack now chasing Daniel into the back corner. Daniel threatening a counter-attack already. The flick is good. And Daniel, without going all in, re-establishes his 2-goal advantage. It's really turning into a clash of styles. The Showmatch didn't necessarily look like a clash of styles on paper. Jack can play lots of different ways in ones, and Daniel is kind of an unknown at the moment. You know what he's up to these days in 1v1. Daniel is right back to his dominant style that kept him at the top of NA for such a long time. And you know, if you're wondering what does that style revolve around, well, it's about being fast enough that you never get boost starved because you're just constantly moving, and being good enough at booming the ball that you're constantly threatening long shots, and that really hinders your opponent's positioning a lot. And then of course having a flip reset whenever you want one. I mean, that's the 3 core aspects to Daniel's gameplay, and always has been. The threat of a boomer, constant movement, and flip resets whenever you want them. Oh, Jack's missed that one. He's not going to be too happy about that. I can hear him announcing the open net missed to his YouTube channel right now. Daniel trying an air double bump of his own, and he lands it. Had to fly really low for that one as Jack attempted to wait for the bump to go over his head before making the save. This is rapidly getting away from Jack. And there's not too much that he can do about it. Another boost steal comes through. That's one aspect of the game that Jack has had pretty good control of, is the boost steals. Not that it's caused too many problems for Daniel, who remains quick to every ball regardless of boost total. Daniel trying to get a demo into Jack as well. Jack looking to run behind the ball and bump Daniel, who's now picking up the back corner boost on spawn. Jack's not sure if he got it. I think he knows now. And Daniel could just run down the clock here. No way does he go all in. It's more bounce dribbles. I mean, you've got a ground shot like Daniel. The bounce dribbles look pretty threatening. Just 100 boost Jack in the back corner once again, and Daniel lunges in. Love to see the full-on aggression from Daniel. He is winning this game on his own terms. He's not backing off and giving Jack infinite chances to come and make the comeback possible. He is controlling his own destiny in game number 2. And it's clear to see that if he can keep this up, he is a threat of sweeping Jack, just as he swept First Killer the other day. I'll probably make First Killer feel a bit better about his return to the Showmatch scene. Jack looks sluggish. He needs to up the pace. He needs to up the efficiency of his first touches, because Daniel is just running rings around him right now. And it's going to be a 7th goal. Daniel beautifully spirals back down towards the ball to put in his 7th. What is definitely the goal that puts it beyond all doubt. You know, strategically, I don't think Jack's really been too off, in my opinion. I think it's all about execution for him. Sometimes when a 1v1 goes heavily in favor of one player, the other player has to switch up their style. I don't think Jack's going to really do that. I think he's probably going to stick to what he's doing and just try to execute to a higher level. What I would like to see from Jack, though, one strategic change I would expect to see, and definitely hope to see, in interest of a close series, is wave dash kickoffs. And that's a good flick from Jack. Not that it should matter too much. No way Daniel loses this one. Yeah, I want to see wave dash recovery kickoffs from Jack. Something that I know he can do to a very high level, but he's just stuck to standard kickoffs for the most part, and Daniel's been winning the majority of them. Jack needs a massive regain. Well, he'll probably feel quite good about the fact that it is him playing poorly that's causing him to lose. Because if he was just playing out of his mind and losing by this kind of scoreline, he'd be quite worried. He'd be very concerned. But yeah, he probably knows more than anyone that he just needs to step it up here. He's probably slapping himself in the face right now to try and wake himself up. You know, while Jack is having his struggles at one side of the field, how about Daniel? What a performance so far. You know, coming out of the first Skiller series where he just absolutely handled everything first Skiller threw at him with ease, and now into a series against Jack, and looking like he's doing the exact same thing. You've got to give credit, and lots of it, to Daniel, who has returned to form with a couple of statement performances against some of the best players in the world. First big chance of game number 3 goes Daniel's way. The shot is not a real threat on net, but it does force Jack to jump and sets up one boost seal, which sets up another one. Daniel's just taking his time here, picking apart Jack's defense. Jack had a bit of time to run around the edge of the box there. Perfectly timed post pinch gives him some more seconds to play with. Jack's using quite a lot of boost on these saves. He's never building enough boost to threaten a counter, and eventually Daniel goes right through him. Regardless of this miss on the save, I don't know if it would have mattered. Daniel had a good hitbox on this one. Yeah, Jack's not going to save this. What is Jack's kickoff strategy going to be? Sticking to standard. He does get this one to work out pretty well. Lands an early reset on the ball, but look how far Jack's car has bounced off the ball there. The reset landed, but afterwards, he didn't really have a lot available for him. Now, the demo's opened up the net and allows him to tie the game. But the comments I made about Jack's aerial control in game number 1 still look to be true. I don't think he looks as comfortable in the air today as he usually does. That's a really good 50 by Jack, but Daniel knew exactly what to do. Just starts straight into the corner for the demo and takes his lead once again. The fact that Jack was able to control that 50 initially at least gave him half a chance there. Not a bad try. His other option was just to go to the back corner boost and then try to defend the incoming attack, but that would have been tricky as well. He was between a rock and a hard place, that's for sure. Daniel trying to chip a wall shot in from distance. The ball wasn't touching the wall, no problem. Daniel just flicks it and goes up by another 2-goal advantage. So he tried to shoot there, but look at this for a 0 boost flick from Daniel. Jack knew that he was a low boost, but he didn't expect the acceleration that Daniel sent towards him. Daniel back to S tier. Certainly. I had Daniel back in S tier after Gamers 8. Just one game win against AJ and he's back in S tier in my opinion. Like I said, going into Gamers 8, I had Daniel just barely out of S tier because when I was putting my tier list together, I realized that there was nearly 8 players in every tier. So I thought, okay, I'm going to make this look. I'm going to make it symmetrical. And Daniel's the guy who I'd put 9th right now out of the top 9 players. So I'll drop him to the top of A instead. Because if you put everybody in S tier, then nobody's S tier. You got to keep moving players around. But yeah, after first Skiller struggles, I think I'd swap the 2. Daniel's back in. Look at how fast he gets into position for his plays right now. These are going to be great signs for Space Station Gaming fans as well as Daniel 1v1 fans. So once again, Jack doesn't get his plan A to work in the air. He's still in a decent position. In fact, a very good position because Daniel's back down. But when it comes to the aerial battle at the moment, Daniel looks like he's comfortably going to have Jack's number if this is the kind of level of resets that we're going to see from Jack today. Daniel initially backs off. Oh, he's accidentally double jumped. So finally a mistake from Daniel. After an almost flawless series up until this point, he tried to backflip it in the ball, double jumps by mistake. And luckily for Jack, he didn't panic and he just rolled the ball right through. So close game number 3. Jack still doesn't look like he's woken up completely. Oh, that's a good flick though. That looked Moxie level. Instant setup by Jack. And what a rip towards the top corner. He almost jumped into that one. That was disgusting. I think Moxie might have inspired all the top 1s players to go back to the rapid setup in the flick game. For a while, it was all about the delayed flicks. It was all about the mind games in the setup, trying to make it as elaborate as possible to confuse your opponent about when the release is going to happen. But Moxie's shown us that, you know, that's all well and good, but if you can just set up the flick and release it before human reaction time can comprehend what's happening, then you're in a pretty good position. Jack wastes some time, but he does set up Daniel for yet another goal. And that bounce is favourable for him, 5-4. Jack knew he had to do something here, did pre-jump. So he understands if he lets Daniel get a reset on the ball close to his goal, then he's never going to have any chance of reacting to it, so he has to go. Unfortunately for Jack, Daniel had the correct adaptation and went underneath him. 5-4 now. Jack has to send the ball clear once again. He's managed to get possession off Daniel briefly there, but now Daniel's got it right back, and he does have a reset to play with this time. Shoots low, not intentionally, but into a position that Jack can save the ball from. Daniel has used the last bit of boost there to recover after initially flying off in the wrong direction. Oh my, he's bumped Jack into the ceiling somehow, and Daniel scores his 6th goal of the game. That's a position that he probably didn't expect to be getting a goal from, but that bump there sent Jack absolutely flying. What was that? Jack must have jumped at the worst possible moment there, right as Daniel was about to tap him, because he went so fast and so high that there was no way he was ever going to get back to the ball in time. Bob Films, thanks to the 24-month tier 1. Welcome back to the channel. And Vanek Vanek 11, thanks to the brand new Prime. Jack looks outclassed. Oh, definitely. You know, I'll be completely honest with you guys. You know, I don't think Jack's played his best today. But even if he did play his best, I don't know if it would matter, because Daniel looks like a complete demon today. It doesn't look like he's had too many issues dealing with Jack's physical game. This is the most impressive thing to me, is that Daniel is just surviving for so long on low boost. That probably should have been another save. Let's take a look at Daniel's POV. See, yeah, he just oversteered a little bit here. Expected a near post shot, and that meant that he couldn't react to the ball coming straight towards him. Jack not confident. Yeah, that's clear to see. He's really not wave dash recovering a lot on the kickoffs. I wonder if he's tried that against Daniel. I mean, it might be something that he's just tried in scrims and seen fail. I'd have to ask him. I don't know if that's true. I'm just having to speculate here. But to see Jack lose so many kickoffs and not switch to wave dashes is definitely surprising. That's the one strategical thing that I'm confused about today. I mean, everything else you just have to put down to execution. Daniel's execution has been multiple levels above Jack's today, and he's set to win his 3rd game in a row in the best of 7. Controls the 50-50 with ease, and he forces Jack into a very, very tight corner. That was, you know, better from Jack, but still way, way off the level that he needs to be at if he's going to reverse sweep Daniel. Daniel still looked like, you know, despite the fact that it was a 1-goal game, he still looked like he was quite comfortable in that game number 3 there. So game 4, must win for Jack, as is every game from here. Daniel's on a 6-game win streak right now. In the past few days, 3 games against First Killer, 3 games against Jack. What other S-tier opponents is he going to relegate with this return to form? You know, you can call it a return to form, but you can also call it like a level of Daniel that we've just never seen before, because this looks like a brand new Daniel. It looks like he's had upgrades or something. He's doing a lot of the same things as he always did, but better, and that's pretty scary to think of, because he was already world class before he fell off a little bit due to lack of practice. And now he's come back with upgrades, and he's a new improved version of himself. Key back corner boost grab there for Daniel to keep himself within 1. Very early pre-jump by Jack. Daniel switches a low once again. That time Jack reads him. Oh, what kind of Jack are we going to see in game 4? If Daniel can take down a peaking Jack, that would be one of the most impressive things I've seen. So far, Jack is doing a really good job, at least compared to the other games, which for his impeccable standards is not the highest bar, 'cause, you know, he didn't play all that well in the other 3 games. He'll be disappointed with his flip resets. He'll be disappointed with his with his kickoff game for sure. When it comes to positioning, both players have been pretty close. That's one aspect of the game Jack will be quite happy with, I think. Big boom from Jack, denied by the bar. It's a bit too much spice on that one. Let's look at the burst of speed from Daniel now. Catches Jack completely flat tired in the middle of the pitch. Not once, but twice. Doesn't stop supersonic speed for a moment. That was ridiculous from Daniel once again. Lightning Kid 10 thanks to the Prime. I have to assume that that's Daniel's burner account based on the way that he's playing right now. Jack beats him to the punch on this one and gets himself ahead by 2 once again. So we haven't had, I would love to see, you know, as the Rocket League fan in me and the caster in me, of course, wants to always see a close series. I would love to see Daniel lose just, well, one game, just to see what he does next, because I feel like he's not even shown us the full package yet. I think he's just doing his default. It's like his default setup right now, and it's working so well that he's not been forced to adapt. But we all know from seeing many crazy comebacks and crazy series from Daniel in the past, we know that he can adapt. Just, my goodness, look at this flip reset shot. The ball kicked off pretty far after the reset, but he got back to it with a pre-flip without any issues. Daniel puts in an absolute worldie for his second goal of Game 4. Mic sounds a bit dodged. That's because I'm coming at you through Discord today. Wasn't able to get my stream fired up myself, so we've got a broadcaster, kind broadcaster Ben, to take over. That's much better from Jack in the setup, but will he be rewarded for it? It's one of the cleaner setups we've seen from Jack in the air, but still, Daniel handles it and ties the game up once again. You know, despite the fact that Jack looked a bit more comfortable in the setup with that reset and following shot, the confidence is still lacking. You can clearly see that he's not confident to just throw the ball at Daniel's net the way that Daniel is confident to throw it at Jack's goal. Great defense from Daniel. Understanding that the threat was pretty limited from that position. Jack had no momentum, so Daniel just closed the distance. And then a very efficient takeoff from Daniel, but Jack looks like he's at least figured out a way to stop Daniel short in the setups. This is not the first time this game that he's correctly predicted the elevation that Daniel's going to arrive at. And he is ahead in goals once again. Still standard kickoffs, you know, credit to him. I wanted to see the wave dash kickoff from Jack, but he has managed to turn around his fortunes at least a little bit. But Daniel, with the quick possession play, puts in a 4th goal. Curious that Jack didn't just rush that. I thought he might just turn and go on that play. But he decided that he wasn't going to get a 50-50. The only reason you don't go there is if you don't think you can at least get a touch on the ball, a small one, as the player with a 100 boost who has to turn towards the play. Because if you at least get a touch on the ball, then you're forcing your opponent who doesn't have as much boost as you do to use all their boost to get to the ball. Then you can usually use your boost advantage to get back to the ball more quickly. So probably a strategical misplay there from Jack. I've got to think, like, you know, with the level Daniel's at today, you just have to challenge if you get the opportunity to do so. You can't give him space if you're passing up the opportunity of a challenge. It's a bit careless by Daniel. He's lost possession with no real threat, and now he's panic flipped to allow Jack to score a 6th goal. So mistakes starting to come into Daniel's game a little bit. Gave away possession pretty easily there, and it was either a panic flip or a flip to avoid Jack's demo, which looked to be pretty good, to be honest. Daniel flips away from the play. Look at that landing. He's actually facing Jack by the time that Jack gets the ball under control. Jack manages to seal the boost and gets past him once again. Daniel with a bit of a greedy drive towards the boost there. Had to flip. He had to understand that Jack was going to contest that one. Yeah, that's all it takes. A couple of careless mistakes, and Jack's right back in it. But he's missed another open net from distance. Just trying to get one out of his system, I suppose. How are Jack's aerial mechanics here? He's faked Daniel a beauty here, but Daniel's just going to stay on the ball fine. Daniel was just hovering. Jack really had him dangling there, but well done to Daniel, making it effective, even if he was just chilling on the post. And now the drive challenge gives Daniel a chance to start the late game comeback. The sweep is still on. Jack knew better than to back down. Rushes in and puts Daniel in another precarious position. Daniel's on the post. Jack just gives the ball to him. He's just trying to waste time here, trying to control Daniel more than he's trying to score. This is intelligent play from Jack. Doesn't need boost if Daniel isn't moving. Daniel will get one eventually after Jack's awkward defensive stance allows him through. He's going to need a kickoff goal and a 0-second goal if he's going to keep this sweep alive. What's it going to be for Daniel? His solid kickoffs have been very good today, so I'm not surprised to see him go for one, but there's not going to be enough. Too much time being wasted, and game 4 will be Jack's. He finally gets one on the board here, but it looks like a long, long way back. Daniel dropped off a little bit in that game, couple of unforced mistakes, but apart from the glaring errors, the one or two big mistakes that he made, his mechanics look to be very consistent, and strategically he looks on point. You know, I can't really see Jack reverse sweeping like this. Need to see one more convincing game from Jack before I really believe in the reverse sweep right now. I'm not going to call myself a believer. Daniel's just been too good today. Oh, it looks like Jack's lost connection here. We'll get him back in and reset the score. Hold on, I wonder if I can just... Can we just do that? Is it going to work? Let's see. There we go. You can actually, as long as a goal has happened, you can reset a kickoff pretty easily, so no problem there. Ooh, Jack misses the boost steal. Also misses his pre-flip onto the ball, but I think Daniel's missed the open net as well. Jack realized that nice and early, secured the back corner boost. Jack's really going for those flicks in the style that Moxie's been popularizing recently. All about the quick setup. That one wasn't the fastest setup. I definitely want to see more of those from Jack. He's had a couple of bangers. Daniel's in a bit of a precarious position here, but Jack gets faked. Oh dear. Well, Daniel's, I think, accidentally faked Jack here with this turn off the wall. Jack panicked, thought Daniel was coming for him, but then Daniel didn't use that moment where Jack wasn't in control of the ball to close the distance and couldn't stop the incoming shot. I wonder how the confidence of Daniel would be affected by another Jack game win. Patience from Daniel waiting for the post bounce, which leads to him tying the game. Big dunk in the setup for that one. Yeah, I don't think Daniel's confidence, in answer to my own question, will be too affected, even if Jack does win another game. I think after the 3-0 against First Killer, and after seeing the level that he's at right now, I mean, Daniel's played enough 1v1 over the years to know when he's playing well, to know what good 1v1 looks like. I think he'll know right now that he's good enough to take on anyone in the world, even if he does lose a game or two. It's great positioning by Daniel. He's completely outplayed Jack here in a very simple way, but with maximum effectiveness. It's all about positioning. Jack wanted to run ahead of the ball and bump Daniel away from the play, maybe even demo him. Daniel positioned just close enough that the turn towards him was going to be too tight. You know, really has handled Jack's physical play extremely well. So Jack now pre-jumps from a mile away. Well, it's actually worked, but got to think that was a bit of a strange one to come in like that. Daniel's boost runs briefly to a 0, misses the mid, has to commit all the way to the corner. Continues with the momentum that he's got to attempt the drive-by bump. Jack will flick the ball past him for 2-2. And that flick might prompt a couple more early challenges from Daniel. Wide sweeping fake challenges in the setup for this. He wanted the flick, and that's what he got. Still, mostly standard kickoffs. Jack prioritizing the hooking style, where he's trying to get goal side after realizing that Daniel's got a really good angle on the kickoffs for pushing the ball to the outside edge. Jack trying to neutralize that or even counter it at times, but it's hard to counter someone's kickoff when it's as solid as Daniel's is. Daniel gets the boost on spawn. Jack forced to use all of his to get the ball clear. Well, he manages to pre-flip into a boost steal in Daniel's corner and dispossesses him in the back corner as well. That's very cheeky play there by Jack. Oh, look at Daniel though. He's not having any of it. He has no respect for Jack's setup here. No respect to the immediate shot. He knew exactly what Jack had planned, and he's been paying attention. It's like I'm sure you guys have. He's identified that Jack's setups have been quite slow today. They've not been comfortable. So what do you do against that? Well, you just go. You just lunge in. Because if your opponent's taking a long time to set up in the air, then they are going to be easy to challenge. Quite a long time. Big dunk from Daniel. Not a lot of boost to threaten the follow-up. Jack decides to turn straight down the middle of the field. Tried to get a bit of an angle with a wave dash, but Daniel's gone right through him again. Massively successful challenge game from Daniel, whether it's in the air or the ground. He is seeing success, but Jack trips him up briefly and rolls in the open net across the pitch to tie up the game once again. So Jack's starting to put it together here in the last couple of games. He's looking like he's back in some ways. Well, I think Daniel's still at a different level when it comes to aerial game today. Jack's had the flicks and he's had the boost control. But when it comes to speed and aerials, that's been Daniel's forte. Look at this mind game though by Jack. Jumped, turned away from the ball, put a bit of a gap between himself and the ball so that Daniel hit the ball into him instead of getting a 50. Let's put him 1 goal ahead now. Jack having to go back to his net after seeing Daniel's first time shot. Daniel barrels right through him for the dunk. And you know, although Jack followed up the misplay with the correct play, still wasn't enough for recovery. 4-4, Daniel 1 goal away from finishing off Jack in 5. Jack's committed again for a mid boost that he looks like he's losing the race to. That's twice now in a row that he's looked second fastest to the boost, but decided to stay on it anyway. Trying to catch Daniel out. Daniel really not too surprised by that. Jack now hides behind the ball. He gets ready to shadow. I love the approach there from Jack, starting off his defensive position by hiding behind the ball, and as soon as he was fully eclipsed by the ball on Daniel's screen, well, that's at least what Jack's assuming. You never know if Daniel's looking over the ball, but as soon as he's behind the ball, he gets ready to absorb whatever Daniel's sending towards him. And speaking of, Jack has really caught and fired back every bit of power that Daniel just put into the ball there. He's definitely manipulated a few of these 50-50s in his favor. Daniel might have to start respecting the 50 mechanics of Jack. Now Jack does go to the back corner. This is where he passed up the opportunity of being the last 2 kickoffs. And he makes it work. The boost is going to spawn for him as well in just a second, but he decides not to go for it. Daniel, 50s underneath him. Huge mind game win for the American. Jack just didn't have the confidence, didn't have the, I think the time to go to the back corner boost, and then panicked on low boost as Daniel threatened to flick against him. Big kickoff win for Daniel. Jack's going to need to bail on this one. Doesn't have a lot of boost to defend with. Daniel should be scoring here, and he will be scoring. It's another low 50. Twice in a row, Daniel goes right underneath Jack at point blank range, and now he leads with 11 seconds left. Jack too high on the challenge. He didn't see it coming 2 times, and now Daniel's 1 possession away from winning. He gets the kickoff to go his favor again. Jack's got no boost. Surely now that's going to be game over. Perfect save by Jack, and again, but the ball's not going to stay up for him. Daniel can ground this, and he will, to win the series 4-1. Dominating fashion. Daniel is absolutely back to the top of his game. Not the best that we've seen from Jack. But even if he did show up in his peak form, I think it's clear to see that Daniel would be a real challenge if he keeps playing like this. Every touch is a boomer with this guy. Every recovery is immaculate. And every flip reset is automatic. It's hard to beat when you've got all that as a package for 1v1. And I like the way that Daniel positioned as well. You know, there's obviously the blatant and the clear advantages that he had in the matchup when it comes to aerial efficiency, speed, and boomer consistency. But you know, it's easy not to realize just how well Daniel positioned when Jack was coming at him. The only reason he's surviving these long onslaughts that Jack's sending towards him is he's taking opportunities to close down the distance and get towards the ball when he can. So well done, Daniel. Not the fully passive shadowing style that I think would have played into Jack's bumping strategy. He was active enough, he was pressuring the ball enough to force Jack to switch things up and to make Jack feel uncomfortable in the lobby.